Are you excited, Pumpkin? Are you excited? I can actually leave you out the chain for a second because there's nobody around. Nice windy day. It's so windy. Better not. Yes, I thought. Yeah, this is the Anderson River Trail with a pit bull. It's actually a really nice place to be, especially in the autumn time. And unfortunately, since I don't have a job right now, hopefully I'll be getting one. Hey, no! Hopefully I'll be getting one by next week. I have a bunch of spare time. I can see it two ways, either a good way or a bad way about not having a job temporarily. The bad way of thinking about it is that I'm not bringing home any money right now, which sucks. But the good thing about being temporary out of work is that I get to enjoy nice, really windy weather. For the time being. My dog, at least she can swim. But yeah, this is pretty fun. Hopefully she'll be able to make it back up here, I hope. Hey, come on. Let's go. Come on. Hey, hey. Come on, let's go. Come on. Hey. Oh my god. Fuck. This way, come on. Come on. Well, you were salty. I really don't want her to jump in that water because it's starting to move pretty good. But yeah, it's a nice Wednesday afternoon. We just had a job interview. They're coming back tomorrow, telling me whether they come in for the second interview. Hopefully everything goes well. So I figure, you know what, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. I have no power right now because PG&E cut power off to like half of California. So I had two decisions. Either I could sit here, at my house, do absolutely nothing, or bring my dog with me. We were playing in water for a little bit. And come out here to the Anderson River Trail and mess around for a little bit. Over here, this is the part that kind of scares me a little bit. I always imagine that there might be a rattlesnake over here, one or two, but it's 74 degrees. And from what I know, I never encountered a rattlesnake before out here, but I would imagine that since it being 74 degrees out here, they'd be sitting here on a rock somewhere. Yeah, that's awesome. I would imagine that they'd be sitting here on a rock because, so they can gather heat. They're cold-blooded reptiles. But yeah, never liked walking over these rocks specifically because of snakes. And it being windy right now, it'd be really hard for me to hear that rattle, I think. But I've never encountered a rattlesnake yet out here, but maybe we'll see what happens. But yeah, out here is really nice. It's peaceful. There's nobody out here, surprisingly. Maybe because everyone else is like, freaking out because there's no weather. I mean, there's no weather. There's no power. You excited, Pumpkin? Please don't run into a fucking rattlesnake. I don't have money to take care of you. if you get bit by a snake. It's a pretty nice little walk. And I don't understand why they've never, paved this area. It's been like this from as far as I can remember. But they did come out here a long time ago and put all these rocks out here, so at least I can walk. And my idiot dog is having a time of her life. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring the other dog with us because, Pumpkin is just so rambunctious. As you can see, she's only 2. I couldn't handle 2 pit bulls at once. Plus, she needed the time out of the house and, go off, so she can go off and burn off some energy. But yeah, after you get through all these rocks, eventually you'll end up to the other side of the trail. There's another trail, at least to the little pond thing over there. That's cool. I really like this weather. And here's the other part of the trail. Let's see if she's smart enough to find out how to get through a fence. Is that a fence? How do we get through it, Pumpkin? Where is it? Where's the area? Where's the big giant hole in the fence? Is that the hole in the fence? Good, you're not that stupid. I'll check that out. It's actually a nice color. A little tree over there. I'm not really sure what kind of tree that is, but it's nice. I like that. One of the reasons I didn't really want to come out here today was because it being so windy. You're having a lot of branches that are just falling down, like this right here. This is pretty new. You see a bunch of branches that already just fell over and stuff. I really don't want to get smashed by something that huge, I don't even have my phone with me, so that's fun. Actually, I have my phone in my hand. I was looking in my pocket right now for a phone. I kind of forgot that I was recording. That's always fun. I wonder what she'd do if I ran off and hit somewhere. Again, it's pretty peaceful out here right now because, one, it's nice and cool. It's really windy. You can hear all the leaves and branches and stuff, and it's only like 74 degrees out. Peaceful. And walking on this little trail kind of reminds me of maybe how life would be in the late 1800s, where people actually had to walk from point A to point B instead of, driving a car. I wonder how it's going to be in the next 100 years. I wonder if people are going to get so lazy that they don't even walk anymore. So one of the things I realized about living in California was that back when I was a kid, everybody used to ride bicycles, even up to about 2007 or so. But I remember everybody used to ride bicycles and stuff, and it was common. And nowadays, the only people who ride bicycles, mainly in my area, are crackheads and homeless. And with me, I love riding bicycles and everything, but I really don't want to ride a bicycle around town and be called a hobo, Kind of self-conscious about that. I mean, I love riding bicycles, I do. But crackheads and homeless kind of ruined it for me. Plus, I don't want, some crazy crackhead stealing my bicycle when I go off into a grocery store and buy, a bottle of water or something. Walmart is notorious for that, by the way. known so many people there who, had their bicycles stolen. I fucking hate California sometimes, So one of the things about California that I hate is that, from 1995, I believe, was when Democrats took over the House for California, and before that, it was ran by Republican. And the thing from I remember was that when I was a kid, everything I really know anything about politics or anything because I was a kid. I was like maybe 8 years old, but I remember when the Democrats took over the state of California and everything started going weird when it came to school-wise. Like they started pushing like weird agendas on us, like instead of fighting your bully, run away from him, or ask your bully why he's so mad at you, or how does it make you feel, little Jimmy? And the funny thing about the whole bully scenario is like, I was I was raised to defend myself when it came to, being bullied. And I know from personal experience if you follow the teacher's advice and go run away and find a teacher and go tell on little Jimmy for kicking your ass, that the bully will obviously get in trouble, but he'll sit there and wait for you after school, kick your ass some more. And literally, the only way to stop a bully from, beating the fuck out of you is to beat the shit out of him first. It's human nature, If you let somebody, pick and bully on you, instead of being, human and beating the fuck out of them for fucking with you, they're turning kids into a bunch of pussies. That was the whole, she-male agenda, as in the whole transgender thing. That's real fun. I really don't like how nowadays the Democrats are pushing all their transgender agendas, and it's okay to be a she-male or a furry or whatever. I don't like how they keep pushing that onto our youth. They started pulling that shit right when I was in high school too. I don't have anything against gay people or anything like that. If you want to be gay, it's your own decision. Go off and go suck some other dude's dick or whatever it is that you want to, do because you're gay. But, it's wrong to sit there and basically teach and force children to think that's okay to be a transgender. Or to, basically manipulate kids into thinking that's okay to, do what gay people do, because, in reality, it's not really right, it's fucking wrong and disgusting. And again, if gay people want to go off and fuck each other in the ass, then by all means, go ahead and do it. But don't sit there and, make up gay pride parades or anything like that and go off into a gay parade and wear a bunch of dicks all over your body, or dress up as a she-male, because that shit's fucking gross. It's wrong. But yeah, back to California. Just California is getting really bad when it comes to their politics and everything. Like, for example, Gavin Newsom just reinstated that Barack Obama thing, where if you don't have insurance by the end of the year, they will, literally punish you by pulling out a percentage of your tax return. And for each year that you don't have insurance, they're going to take that punishment deductible that they took from you. They're going to double it each year. And unfortunately, with my fiance at the time, she's a perfect example. She couldn't afford health insurance or anything like that because of California. Everything's so expensive. And, she got penalized 3 times for that stupid law. And now she owes like $5,000 to the IRS and everything. And thank God Trump basically, took away that stupid tax thing, but now Gavin Newsom reinstated it, so all that shit's coming back as of next year. Now, Gavin Newsom's a real piece of shit. That, and he just makes things worse. I mean, everybody's seen what he did to San Francisco. He ran San Francisco into the ground. Now San Francisco has, poop apps or shit apps where you basically report shit on the ground, and they'll actually have a sanitation unit come over there and clean the shit up. This is an everyday thing, by the way, and it's pretty fucking gross and it's sad. But my point is that Democrats basically ruin whatever state they run. You know, they've ruined Chicago. Chicago's down to shitter right now. California's next, and they wonder why so many people are moving out of California. It's because they keep raising the cost of everything. Even right now, as of this week, they actually took our gas prices and shot them up to almost $5 a gallon. $5 fucking a gallon. I can't even afford gas right now. Which is, you know, pretty shitty. But hopefully if I get this job, which is like a mile away from my house, I'll be able to walk there every day. But, you know, thanks to the Democrats and whatnot, Gavin Newsom, they just, you know, they're completely ruining this state. And Gavin Newsom just released over 730 dangerous criminals back in society from prison. It's like, you know, what gives him the right to do that? You know, he's releasing sex offenders, murderers, and all sorts of crazy people back in society. And these are people who aren't gonna, you know, who aren't gonna change their ways. That and they're, and another fun thing they actually pointed out about 4 years ago with my fiance, that watch, as soon as they give you know, the gay people the right to get married and whatnot. This way, come on. As soon as they give gay people the right to marry and stuff, you know, pedophiles are gonna start wanting pedophile rights. And it's 2019, and what do you know? They're actually trying to sign petitions and everything to make it okay for pedophiles to go off and have sex with children in California. It's like, what kind of fucked up system are we running here in California, you know? It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, you're gonna make it, you're going to make pedophiles being accepted in society? Fuck that. No, there's nothing right. You know, for one, there's nothing right about, you know, gay guys fucking each other in the ass. That's one thing. You know, if they want to, again, if they want to have sex with each other and have relationships, then let them. Now, it doesn't hurt me one bit. But when it comes to pedophiles, trying to, you know, make pedophilia legalized, making it okay for adult men or adult women to go out there and fuck little kids, that's wrong. It's fucking disgusting. But yeah, that's just a little taste of what's happening in California right now. That with the whole PG&E cutting off for power. And the reason why for that is, again, because of the Democrats in California, especially when it came to Jerry Brown and Newsom. What they did was they actually took away our forest management program. And our forest management program, like all the fundings and everything, been cut. And then they make up all these like bullshit rules about how we shouldn't be cutting down forests and everything, because, you know, it's something to do with liberal logic. I don't know. But anyways, without proper forest management, you have the Carr Fire, which happened last year. You have the Paradise Fire, which happened last year. That was a combination of PG&E negligence and, you know, poor forest management. Both of them were poor forest management. And as you can see here, I mean, like, with here, they don't really need to do forest management on a trail like this because there's like nobody that lives out here. But this is just a small example of how, you know, overly grown with dead brush and, you know, trees and limbs in California. You know, if we had, like, you know, poles or telephone PG&E poles or wires around here, you know, they'd be fucked. Especially since it's, you know, really windy out. Which is one of the reasons why they cut the power, because last year we had big gust of wind like this last year around September, I think, and that's what caused the you know, the Paradise Fire. That was, you know, fucking terrible, you know. And sorry for making this video so political, you know, it's just I hold a lot back when it comes to, you know, how our estate's being ran. And unfortunately, it's pretty disgusting how it's being ran, you know. I mean, with me, I love nature and everything, but, you know, if you love your forest in your woods, what you should do is do a proper forest management every year. And even the town where I live by, Redding, the city of Redding is getting sued, by the way, too, because last year, right after the car fire was done and everything, they found out that the Redding Council is lying about having a forest management done around you know, the Redding area. That's one of the reasons why Redding almost burnt to the ground. And so they're getting sued by Lions, so that's cool. They haven't done proper forest management over 3 years, I believe. That's a lot of brush. But again, you know, it's like, you know, I know for a fact that people around here love the woods. They love our little forests and everything. But, you know, it's wrong for the Democrats to go off and basically line their pockets with our forest management money, you know. Hopefully things will change. Hopefully Newsom will get, you know, impeached and taken out of office, because he's just a real piece of shit. But yeah, back to this trail. I've never been down this area before. I've got a funny feeling that leads to the lake, which I'm pretty sure that does. So we're gonna go this way. Nice and sandy. Is that fun, pumpkin? Yeah, how fun is this? How fun is this for you? Splashing me with sand. Let me check that out. A horse was here recently and took a fat shit. That's amazing. That's like historical right there. One of the reasons why I love coming out here is because with me, I'm trying to become an author. I'm a really good storyteller, you know. I'm really good at making up storylines and things like that. And being out here kind of just inspired me to make an old 1800s like Halloween story, you know. Yeah, fuck, go this way. But yeah, it's one reason why I like coming out here in autumn, because, you know, it's just the smell, the atmosphere, the colors, everything. It's nice. And it's, you know, very inspirational too. And if I could, I would bring my laptop out here and just start typing away. I've actually made one book so far. I wrote it down, unfortunately. The reason why I wrote it down instead of typing it out, because it was originally supposed to be a like 10-page book. And ironically, the book was about this asshole named Keith, who I used to work with. He was like a 60-year-old dude. And he was probably the whiniest person who I've ever met. And he was very manipulative, and he was like, he was basically what an unstable woman would be in a man's body. He used to... Are you alright? What'd you step on? Anyways, he was what, like, you know, an unstable woman would be in a man's body. And it was bad. But he was very manipulative, and he would sit there and like snitch on me for every little thing that I would do at work. And he'd actually sit there and like record me as I went to the bathroom. He would time me how long it would take me to, you know, use the bathroom. And at the time, I was having irritable bowel syndrome. had irritable bowel syndrome because I was, drinking energy drinks like Monster Rehab, and Rockstar Recovery. I was going through those left and right. I was eating bags and bags of candy, things like that. And when you eat sugars and things like that constantly, you're gonna have the shits. So I would be in the bathroom for about 5 to 7 minutes. I'd usually go about 2 to 3 times a night because I work night shift. But he would sit there and record how long it would take me to use the bathroom and everything, which is fucking illegal in California. And eventually all this went on for like a good 6 months. And so instead of beating the shit out of him, which is what I really wanted to do, but I didn't want to lose my job, so what I did was I used my creativity and I made this 400-page book about him. It was, fiction, of course. That's beautiful. It was literally a like a what if scenario. Like, what if Keith took over, because Keith wanted to take over the job that I was working for. He wanted to be like the manager and everything. So I basically made it a sci-fi story about how he took over Captain Bear, which is where I used to work. And it was really funny too, because in real life he had this weird sexual bond with this machine I used to work on called the Thermwood, because it was originally his machine. And I remember when they put me on his machine, they put him somewhere else, and so they had him train me. And he used to talk to the fucking machine as it was going to, the computer monitor is on a 5 foot pedestal. And he used to sit there and whisper shit to it. And he used to call it his baby. It's my baby. He's like, now Josh, when you are working on this machine, make sure you treat this machine like a woman. And make sure you give it a woman's name. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? But yeah, he was always fucking two-faced and always staring me down every day. And I made this big giant book about him, about how he took over Captive Air. And it was really funny because the machine had become like a Skynet, and so it teamed up with Keith, and they basically turned Captive Air into a big giant prison where they enslaved all the employees and stuff. And the main manager there, his name's Joe. I'm not gonna give you his last name because I don't want to get in trouble, as if he'd see this video. But yeah, in the story, Joe had a split personality, kind of like Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll. And whenever he'd get really angry, he'd turn into the evil Angry Joe, and the evil Angry Joe would be all big and buff like an Incredible Hulk. That's fucking awesome. Fucking junkies. But yeah, he'd get all angry and shit, and get all big and buff. So Thermwood made Keith this robot suit that he'd wear. And long story short, at the very end of the book, him and Keith had this big giant epic superhero villain battle. And it was actually a really funny story. It was dark but funny. And one of these days I want to come back to it and retype everything out and make it cool and better. But yeah, it was a fun little story, My future father-in-law, I told him about it. He didn't really. This way, come on. He didn't really want me to publish it or anything, which I'm not going to. And he told me he didn't want me to publish it because I can get sued for it, and it's just really a cool thing to do. Which I agree, but then again, if that book were to make me millions of dollars, I'd publish it. I'll just play the switch the names around game, But I've never been out here before. This is my first time I've been this far out. And this is the first time Pumpkin's been out here too. Seems like she's enjoying herself. How much money do you want to bet that back in the 90s or late 80s, that people come out here and like party, you know. I can see people parking all their trucks out here, getting shit-faced. Maybe a couple fights over here. Yeah, I guarantee you this is where people used to come out here and party. I remember back in the 90s out here in this Anderson River Trail, this is where all the crackheads used to hang out and sleep. One of the reasons why I know is because unfortunately my uncle, my late uncle, he was a crackhead and whatnot, and he was homeless. And this is where he used to sleep sometimes. Now, I don't know if he slept over here or not, but I know he slept on the river trail somewhere. And in the 90s, Anderson was actually where all the crackheads used to live. And ironically, they gave Anderson the nickname Anderspun instead of Anderson. Because, you know, basically it was ran all over by crackheads. Here's a couple cars. Come on, sit. Go back this way. But I want you to run the cars because you're an idiot. Hey, come on. But yeah, Anderson's really cleaned up from the 90s. I actually live in Anderson now. It's just really ironic because I remember Redding being like clean and everything, kicking hobos and homeless and crackheads out. And nowadays everything's switched around. Now Redding's where all the crackheads and the homeless hang out. And Anderson has cleaned up a lot lately. And Anderson's cleaned up so much that their APD, which is the Anderson Police Department, they'll actually go around at night and they'll find the crackheads and they'll pick them up. And they'll just like drive over there to Redding and drop them off and tell them never come back. It's a nightly thing. It's pretty funny, actually. But yeah, it's just really sad because I grew up in Redding as a kid from 88 up to about 2000. And it's just sad because Redding just literally went downhill. About 2 weeks ago, it's even got to the point where we're having all these weird-ass crimes where that we've never heard of before. Like 2 weeks ago, this black homeless dude stole a tractor and he ran it into a gas station trying to like rob him or something. And then last week we had somebody try to rob another gas station with a gun, and that dude got his ass taken down by a Good Samaritan. Perfect example of forest management. But yeah, Redding's just gone downhill, and it's sad because that's my hometown. That's where I grew up and stuff. And even Shasta Lake's gone to hell too.